Okay, here we go. We're heading down the hill. And this is a pretty steep angled hill. It might not look like it in the video, but it's at least a 20% grade. This is going to have me turn right here. I'm just following other people's tracks, and we'll see how it goes. I wouldn't say this is as steep as Queen Anne Hill, but it's definitely a little bit steep to say the least. So we'll see where this takes me. Like I say, I'm in four-wheel drive. And we're documenting this for two purposes. One, in case I die. And two, just for the fun of it, keep you guys in the mix. There's no way I get to my washer fluid. My hood is totally covered with snow, so we're just shit out of luck on that. But it's really cold out right now. It's 21 degrees, so there should be very little moisture in the air right now, and that's good because it'll keep the windows clear until I get down into warmer weather. Southern Utah is a little warmer, and there's no snow once I get south of the city here, so we're just taking it real easy and seeing what we get. No slippy, no slidey. And I'm not running in that person's tracks. I'm just running kind of off to the side of him to pack the fresh snow. Like I say, the four-wheel drive is pretty sure-footed. I've been real confident in this truck for the most part. And I say for the most part because I haven't driven it in, much more than over the passes and around Seattle in the snow. But up here, hey, so far my braking is good. I'm not sliding at all. Staying pretty smooth. Hank was telling me that with the drier snow here, it packs down and actually doesn't, create that wet sheet of ice that we get in the Pacific Northwest with our snow. So it's not as treacherous to drive on it. But it's been a couple of years since I've been driven in the snow down here. Probably I came down to Snowbird, and oh my God, it's gotta be close to 30 years ago. And that was, the old man rented a Toyota 4Runner or something at the time. And that was what we took for our road trip around. Well, he was at all of his meetings. He let me go up to Snowbird. And I squirreled around in it in the parking lot to see what the situation was like. This doesn't look too bad. I can't see. No one's coming up the hill. No one's coming down the hill. I got a very slow mover ahead of me, so we're going to follow their lead and go very slow behind everybody. Just take it one step at a time and not start to slide. So we'll take it very slow.
Continue for 4 miles.
Everybody looks like they're taking it super easy. So I shall do the same. Right? When in Rome, do like the Romans. Just very slow. Creep it down the hill. This street is just shy, if any of you know northeast Seattle, Wedgwood neighborhood, 70th. This is a little less steep than 70th. I'm trying to think of an equivalent on, like, it's not as steep as Queen Anne Hill by any means. And it's certainly not as steep as, say, some of the other big ones like Dravis. Not quite as steep as that either. But it definitely has a little bit of a grade to it. Not slipping so far. I'm just easing on the brakes. I'm only going about 7 miles an hour. Just coming down really slow. Because that's how we do it in Utah. Hank just said, take it slow and easy, and you'll do fine. And he was not kidding. Oh, a little bit of slippage, that's fine. Full stop, and here we go. Close to a full stop. We'll just keep it, 5 to 7 miles an hour down the hill and enjoy this beautiful winter wonderland that we're having here in the great Utah area. Yeah, in Seattle, you'd be broadside by now or whatever. You'd be like unable to stay straight. Your car would be going backwards in the ditch. Not now, though. Because I think people know how to drive in the snow in Salt Lake a lot better than us Pacific Northwesties who pretend we know how to drive in the snow. I can conquer anything. I have a Subaru. Right? You know what I'm talking about. You do. Whether you have one or you know someone with one, you know it's true. Impossible to deny it. And I'm staying over the yellow line a little since there's nobody coming up the hill. And taking her easy. Oh, we got one coming up. I better move over and give him a little room. Navigating the roads in a nice slow manner. Hell yeah. None of this was here last night when I went to sleep. There was nothing. They got a couple of flurries. We were at one of Hank's buddy's house. We looked outside. He's got the grill going, and there's snow coming down. Oh, wait, the smoker, not the grill. Had some of the best ever smoked meatloaf I've had in my life. So, Hank's buddy over there in the west side of Utah, or of Salt Lake, he's a grilling master, man. He had some amazing food going for us, so that was pretty cool. I can turn down the fan motor on the they're not quite so noisy in the background. So it says to follow this all the way down for 4 miles. Once we get down to the level here, I mean, we were way up there. Hank's place is like top crow's nest view looking over the city. He's got a gem of a spot on the hill. But it's starting to level out here in a minute. We're actually going 10 now because I'm not super worried about being able to stop this low. It was up on the steeper part that I was stressing about. Slow down, it says. Yeah. I think it's the snow gauge. It knows. You're definitely working through into the city. Where we at? If any of you know Salt Lake, this is, I'm coming up on 2nd Avenue and I'm going down south 700E. The city's laid out in a grid and they use numeric coordinates for a lot of the streets, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time, if you're used to named streets, not gonna help you much. I Street is the one I'm on, and it's north, or just south 700E. And we just crossed over. We're coming up on 2nd Avenue here at the stop sign. I don't know why my intermittent wipers won't stop. I'm moving down a couple steps. Oop, we got over 10. I got up to 15. This is telling me I gotta turn slightly left. And now I'm on South Temple Street, so we're pretty much down to the heart of the city, if you know anything about Salt Lake. And we're gonna make a slight left and then continue on. I don't know if it continues as I Street. We'll know in a minute we get across. 700 South 700E is what we'll be continuing on when we get up there. These wipers do not want to play intermittent mode nicely. Oh, hey, look at they stopped. Moving down one. Here we go. I think just for safety purposes, I'm going to stay in 4-wheel just for a little bit till we're off the slickery ground. You know, better safe than sorry. And I'm going to stay over in the right lane because there may be some Utahians that want to go fast, and that's not me. I'm going to take it 20, 25 tops. Let's pull it off here, and we'll go Facebook Live just for fun.